So we've got two long positions on gold. On silver, not gold. So we had an initial entry up here off this resistance. So obviously, technically, actually kind of rough buying into resistance. Although we had a really nice drop today in the markets during the London session, which you can see right here. We had drops across the market actually, which weren't huge. So technically this one lined up really well for my intraday strategy. So we came down to this 200 moving average. We had the RSI overbought, oversold. So I scaled in for a second position. So this one's moving quite nicely. So this position's actually in profit overall. We have pound Swiss. So I mentioned pound Swiss on, I think it was Friday's stream or Thursday stream. I can't remember which one. But yeah, we are taking a long on pound Swiss because the Bank of England has held their rates at 5%. And to be honest, it doesn't really seem like they're going to cut unless we start getting pretty bad data out of the UK or data that starts leading that way. And so far, we've not. So quite confident in the short term for the pound. The Swiss negative trade balance, trade balance came out negative again. We also have the S&B rate cuts that are looking quite likely. So yeah, this position essentially just a rate differential position. We have pound yen that I called this morning. I actually put this one on Twitter before I took it. So yeah, this trade's moving quite nicely. This was just a technical trade, but again, sort of a rate differential play here as the Bank of England held rates and the Bank of Japan sounded quite dovish actually, as we heard them say that they're not in a rush essentially to start hiking rates. So market participants have not taken that one too lightly. Then we're in a dollar yen. Now I'm in both ways actually, but we sent a signal to the short side. So we entered here. I scaled in short again here, and then I decided to take a long position. So the reason I did this is essentially just to hedge off the position. So if these two positions do go up to stops, I'm also in pound yen long, and I've taken a long on dollar yen. And this position's break even or risk free, so it's completely fine. So yeah, pretty safe no matter what happens in dollar yen really. So let's move on to some other markets. We can have a look. Someone's saying euro dollar buy. Let's take a look. Now, euro dollar actually looked really tempting this morning. We had a huge drop, although euro dollar or the euro in general actually isn't something I'm too keen on. And the reason is what we had was the Olympics. Obviously, they took place in France, which boosted a lot of the data coming out of the eurozone. However, that period's over, so it's now going back to I don't want to say stable. That's probably not the right word, but it's sort of correcting itself, if that makes sense. So seeing a sort of slowdown in data in terms of the boost we had for the Olympics, and now that's sort of rebalancing that we're getting isn't putting too much faith for me in the euro. Although generally speaking, I am quite bearish on the US dollar. So I can see both sides, but it's not a trade I'd be really looking to take for the long term anyway. We can take a look at gold, absolutely. So gold is up slightly on today. We have reached a new all-time high actually early this morning, right after market opened. Actually, we created a new all-time high at 26.31, which is interesting. So yeah, we can move on to the Nikkei shortly, or the Nikkei, however you like to pronounce it. But yeah, on gold, I'm still looking for some sort of pullback. In my book, we've not had a valid pullback for quite some time, actually, since we broke out and created new all-time highs. We could argue that this pullback here was good to get in on, but for me, it didn't reach my criteria. I would have liked to see a lower move down to this previous level of resistance and then a move to the upside, which, yeah, unfortunately hasn't happened yet. So if we now come down until the previous resistance, which is here at 2591, I may take a small position to the upside if we can get that. But yeah, essentially gold is just a waiting game now. There's not really anything you can do here. I'm sure you could get some nice scalps or day trades, but for longer term positions, so swings and things, it's too late to get in my opinion. So yeah, let's take a look at the JPN 225. To be honest, it's not really doing too much. We are up. let's see, what are we at? 0.18% for the day, which is pretty flat in my book, really. So I was looking to short. I can't remember where it was exactly. I think. Yeah, I can't remember exactly where I was looking to short on this one, but yeah, I was short at some point. Luckily, since then we've actually had basically no movement on the Nikkei. It's kind of just ranging sideways. This is a large range. It's on the H4, so again, you could probably get some nice smaller trades on here, so day trades and scalps. But in terms of swing trades, there's nothing here really. We can see the moving averages are actually about to shift from bearish to bullish here. However, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. As we can see, we've had a very similar sort of signal previously within this range, and it's not managed to hold up. So I think if you are looking to trade the Nikkei, the plan really would see a break and a retest of the highs. So something around this level here. That's the only real play in my book. I don't really go short on the indices. It's a personal rule. I will if the data is really compelling, but generally speaking, it's not something I like to do. So this is kind of the only way I can see this working. So people are asking for GJ. So I said earlier I am in GJ to the long side, and this is playing the rate differentials. So Bank of England held their rates at 5%. The Bank of Japan sounded relatively dovish, or well, at least not super hawkish. They said they're not in any rush to really do anything. So it kind of leaves the yen in a bit of a gray area. So we can see the yen is now slipping to the downside. The pound is moving quite nicely to the upside, creating a very clean higher high, higher low situation. So yeah, technically and based on the central banks, it looks like a really nice trade. So I'm not looking for anything huge on here. More just a very simple move back to sort of 1929. Yeah, that's about it. The EMAs I'm using, I use the 50 and the 200 on the H1 and H4, and then I use just a 200 on the daily.
Market analysis, free trading courses, edge finder data, and special offers. What do these things all have in common? They're all available for you right now inside of our free Discord. You can click the link down in the description below to join the free Discord today and get access to all of this and more. Stay up to date with all the latest trading information and A1 content. And if you want to upgrade to our Gold VIP Discord that features every single trade that Trader Nick and our other professional analysts take, you can find the links for that in the description as well. So don't wait, go check out the free Discord today.
The Fed is, by the market, expected to have another 50 basis point rate cut, 50-50 at this point, but by the end of the year, 75 basis point cuts, which is from the start, cutting 125. Hello, Angus. ECB is probably gonna cut next time. Bank of England is probably gonna cut next time. Bank of Canada is probably gonna cut 50 next time. RBI is probably not going to do anything at all. RBNZ, which is New Zealand, is probably going to cut 50 in their next meeting. Oh, hallelujah. There's a lot of 50 here. What is happening to the world? Is everything crazy? Is everything falling? That is fantastic. That is very good. And then Swiss National Bank 61 probability for 20 basis point rate cut, and Bank of Japan nothing whatsoever. What does that mean for the markets? The almighty yens. And I said a long time ago, and a long time no see, I said, though I was wrong, I said down. Okay, I said up from 26th of August. Everyone's tired of listening to that, but that's true. I said peak. I said third, and then or second maybe, and then I said hold down to 23rd. And where is 23rd? 23rd is on the bottom. I'm sorry. May you all, Forex, mighty God, forgive me for I have sinned. And then Laura says we should oil it up. So yeah. So I was wrong. Can you guys forgive me? I do apologize for being wrong. But yeah, we have done a not 3.6. We do 180. I love it. I wanted deeper pullbacks, to be honest with you. I haven't entered. I look like a fool because now it's 70 pips up or whatever, 80 pips up. What do you do? There shall be no forgiveness. Okay. What do you need? How many cows do you need, Normsy? Let's get a recovery guy. Yeah, that's probably true. Okay, cool. Will do. I'll do one thing first. Gold. I told you I want this one to go deeper, lower, and I said to who? I don't know who I said it to. Somebody asked me, "Will we go to 260?" And I said, "Yes, we're probably going to go to 260." And then I want to pull back, and then we never got a pullback, and now we're making higher highs. And yeah, somebody sold gold, and I was like, "Oh my lord, clench," because that's a bad idea. Sorry, I was right about one thing. Gold will go $1,000 up. Yeah, of course. No, sorry. What would you do with $1,000? I would buy yen pairs, hold, clench, and pray. By the way, no financial advice. Don't listen to whatever I'm saying because that's just stupid. Okay, whatever I say is stupid. So I might go. I might go over to doing something else. Okay, are we landing? A bit more coffee. Let's land. Let me do some more. Because James was like, he was serious. He was straight on, to the point. And I come here, I was like, Clown, I apologize. Coffee. We'll do some secret coffee here. So 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3. ASMR. Doing Forex ASMR. Great. We are looking at, well, what's the deal that didn't go well for me? One thing. Mudazir says, what about Australian dollar, US dollar? Here we are, okay? Are you whispering to... Yeah, I do. I do that in my sleep. Forex gods. To be honest with you, can I try to be serious? I'm never being serious. If Nick ever listens to this, Nick, if you're somewhere on a beach somewhere in Sorrentino, or like between white houses and whatever you are, or even have one grain of sand between your toes, listen to this. Okay? Whatever you are gone, we're having fun. Okay? So, higher low. That is what it is. I didn't like the pullback. I want a deeper pullback. But what are we now? We are risk on. Okay? If we are risk on, what do? You buy. Australian dollar, US dollar. Can we look at retail sales? Where's retail sales? Major currencies. Where are we? Cool. There we go. Major currencies only. If we are on major currencies, what is retail doing? They are sell. Okay, great. That means that Australian dollar, US dollar is probably going to go higher. Pound is probably going to go higher. And euro is probably going to go higher. When they are crossing towards like 75, 80, that's like peak. So, sorry. But I believe that Australian dollar, US dollar is going to go higher for a couple of reasons. Dollar weakness, for whatever reason that is. Why did we go risk on now? I'm not entirely sure, other than we are rate cutting. And we have some highs to break at 69. 69 is always nice. So 69 a quarter is probably 60 pips away from now. So yeah, I would argue probably would have been the best. Simply the best would have been 66 entry, then max 67 entry, and now we are fighting string. We are now fighting higher highs. Let it develop, and you may use that as support and resistance, but it's high. It is not. It's not a great setup. It's high. I would rather buy there, which I could have, should have, would have. Should I also have come down to 65 something? That would be better. But my kind of levels would be like my absolutely perfect would be like this. That would be buy there, which you could have, come back again, and then back up again. It's kind of like here is very high. High.
I'm just doing some profit management here, Frank. Whatever you got, just kick it around. I'm just going to start looking at maybe protecting some. I had oil in at the lows with the futures market for CL. I did a 65 by 55 or 65 by 64. So I'm looking to take some profit. If it's mostly, if I'm like 80, 85, 90% of that profit is in my hands, I can take it now. I'm just going to go ahead and take it, protect it. So that's where I'm sitting here. So these are done. I'm looking for CLZ.
So you said you're trying to trail out of oil?
Not trail out. I'm just trying to close it. So I did a 65 by 55 for 50 cents. I collected 50 cents, and right now this is trading for 89 cents. So I'm not going to close out of that one yet. Okay, that one's fine. So I'll let that one marinate a little bit longer. But the other one I closed out for, it was like a combo, like credit spread, whatever. I'm closing out, end up grabbing about 27 net cents, which is good. And then this one, I'm trying to grab another net. This was November 15th. I have a 1x2. This should be a credit. Oh, there it is. 65 by 55, 61 cents. Okay, so I'm upside down about 20 cents in this one. But I'll let that one just hang out. I've got another couple of months. Hopefully oil demand is up, and we'll continue to see oil rally, or at least stay off this support zone. So I still like oil to the upside, at least in the near term. Gold continues to do virtually everything right and nothing wrong. There's not even been a pullback recently, other than this little pause we saw around early to mid-September. I'm just letting gold profits continue to rally. I'm not doing anything. I'm not adding anything. Not yet. I want to see a dip or pullback before I take another action on gold. But no complaints if it's going up. I'm just not buying highs. I'm waiting for some type of pullback. And then silver. Silver has paused, but I'm looking to see if silver will continue to play catch up. My first target on silver is 35.90 or 35.85. Bitcoin, I'm bullish. Last week they announced with IBIT that the BlackRock spot ETF is going to allow you to trade options around that, which I think is pretty good. I do have some exposure on BITO.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is a big deal, man. I like this a lot. Now, my plan is if and when I can trade IBIT with options. I'm not sure when they actually allow you to do it. But if I go into trading right now, let's go positions, table. So it says there's no options available. But whenever IBIT has options, what I'm probably going to be doing is working for some active cost basis lowering. So I just want to, I know my break even on IBIT is, let me check this here. So my tracker, so my ownership positions, IBIT. So right now, let me see if I've got a break even here. So I've got a buy at 31.50 and a buy at 28.50. So those should be equal weighted. So if I go 28.50, 31.50, and 28.50, so my break, 897.75. What did I do? 31.50 plus 28.50. There we go, divided by 2. Okay, so my break even on IBIT is $30. There. So my break even is $30. So what I'm saying is, if we continue to see, $30 is my break even. I don't plan on going out super far, Frank, just in case, Bitcoin does get a run. But what I can do is I could probably sell like a 5 or 10 delta call and just lower the cost basis every maybe 20 to 30 days. And so if my break even is 30 and I can grab, let's say 20 cents, well, it lowers my cost basis by 20 cents. And I do it again, same, I'll just kind of monitor price here. But if I can lower my cost basis, let's say 20 to 30 cents every cycle that I do a covered call, I mean, it helps me increase the bottom line. What I'm trying to avoid is if I cover it and then Bitcoin rips, well, then I'm going to be, covering and rolling and trying to get out of the way. I want to roll it out in time, up in price. And there's only so many times you can do that before the broker's like, if it's run too far, then you're going to do it for a debit. And I don't love rolling credit covered calls for debits. I try to get paid to roll them. So I'm trying not to get super aggressive on covering IBIT, but I still think that's great. I think it's good news for us to be able to trade more than just buying an ETF. Instead, you can actually trade options around it. So that was news that broke last week. So keep an eye on that.
Well, I still have my long vertical on BITO.
Long vertical on B. Okay,
that's looking
good.
A little better today. I had it at I bought a call at 20, sold a call at 29. So that's a 9-point move. I paid $1.80 for it. So I think the max profit would be $720 by March, if that works out.
Yep.
I did the same thing on Ethereum and somehow got the same debit for it. So I also paid $1.80 on that.
Okay.
Except the numbers for there, it's a $5 and a $15 call on ETHU. Which is
okay. You're trading a double X. That's a 2X leverage ETF. Okay, got it.
So I mean, it's still the same amount of risk.
Sure.
I don't know if I would outright buy this because of double leverage. It's already a leveraged product.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically kind of like buying the stock market, but even worse in terms of volatility. So. Yep. I mean, I figured having a $1.80 credit to go out several months into next year is probably not a bad call. Yeah, especially with the idea that interest rates were going to be cut, seeing 50 basis points this meeting and then expected to be I think they're expecting 100 at the end of the year. So maybe another 50 by December. So devaluing of the dollar. I like this play because gold is out of reach and crypto is it's been churning lower the past several months. So I'm happy with, my positions on crypto.
Sure.
I'm looking at indices as well. I think I'm just going to try to trade range within, intraday range. So we saw, today hasn't moved too much, so I'm looking at selling credit spreads. I'm trying to get 57.40 today, hopefully above $1 credit. So if we keep running higher, I think I'm going to look for credit spread there.
Okay.
But if not, I'm trying not to get impatient and hop in a trade. But
sure.
That's kind of where I'm at now.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, this, I mean, at least today, price is really muted. I am probably going to be taking some, you and I talked about the broken wing butterflies that a lot of times I'm looking at a position like, broken wing up here, broken wing down here. I'm just going to start looking at kind of doing more at the money and just see if price wants to drift a little bit higher. Not necessarily for the profit trap, but for the the income, but also the profit trap is kind of the kicker. So if I get, let's say 50 cents and I also can, go 5x that, if I get a profit trap by the end of the day, I'll probably set these 0 and 1 days to expiration, broken wings that I think for right now, I'm going to tilt to the bullish side. I'm just going to tilt to the bullish side simply because as much as I want to see a pullback, I think the market is so high on its own, its own optimism that sentiment is carrying it higher. I know that we might struggle to melt up significantly higher, but I just feel like the disappointment would have to be something like Oh, I don't know. I mean, if somehow Powell like completely contradicts himself on Thursday with like 10 Fed speakers lined up, maybe that's a reaction. But otherwise, it's going to be news, and we have earnings season kicking off here. We go through the final week of trading through this week, the 27th. We end the quarter and the month on Monday the 30th, and then earnings season is going to kick off with financials. We have non-farm payroll on the 4th. So until, I don't know, I mean, either the market's going to melt up prior to the news and it doesn't really react until news actually tells it to, or we don't have any type of reaction until news actually hits the headlines. And that's a big, it's, I don't know. I mean, we could see the market just keep running and keep melting up higher, or we can see the market's like, okay, we're sitting here at all-time highs, but justify it. This is the market asking for maybe data to continue to come in better and show that employment is looking better, unemployment rate is steady or even getting lower. I think that would be a big reaction to like a non-farm payroll announcement on the 4th. And then earnings season, if we kick off with financials, which has been the second or third best performing sector of the year, 21.44 in financial sector. That's pretty good overall. Actually, let me see. Did JPM recover from that 7.5% sell-off? Not quite. So JPM putting in some highs. I think Costco has earnings coming up. Maybe Costco has earnings Costco has earnings coming up here this week on the 24th or the 26th. So that is Thursday after market. This is going to be about a $40 move. The only issue with Costco is they're probably $5 wide spreads. So if I go to the 27th, they're $5 wide until you get a little bit further out. I mean, on the call side, you can see they're $5 wide. On the put side, they end up going a $250 wide. But the issue is it's much wider. Implied volatility this week around $35. If I went out a week out to the 4th, I'm just wondering what would it cost me to take a trade here. The expected move. Let's price this one out, Frank. If you're interested, I'm interested, so I want to price it out.
Did you know we do a live trading show Monday through Friday with guests from all over the world? To get notified when we go live, click the bell button next to the subscribe button, or check in at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have helpful, free content in the description below and on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching today's video, and we'll see you tomorrow.